Hey there everyone, it's Ed here from Bunch of Swines again. We are back in the barn. As you can see, we have not really done a huge amount since the last video. We're kind of waiting for a bit of building work to be done, just so we can, we don't have to pull stuff out before we load it back in. So, but hey, today what we're going to look at is we're going to cook some chili on the barbecue. So cooking all of these big cuts of meats, things like briskets, pork shoulders, everything else, you normally end up with especially if there's only a couple of you at home, you always end up with a lot of leftovers. So we're going to look at how we like to use some of these. This chili recipe that we use always goes down really well. It's a firm favorite with friends and family. So we're going to see how we can use this, cook the chili on the barbecue. So, in cooking chili on a barbecue or using pre-cooked meats, it is a bit different than if you were just making it from scratch, because, normally you'd be there browning off the meats and, using bits of that in the process. But we don't have that on this. So, in a sense, we kind of need to make the sauce first and then, add the meat into it at the right time. So we're going to be using our trusty Dutch oven here. We're going to be cooking this just on a kettle, and we've got a lot of different ingredients that we're going to add into this to kind of add depths of flavour into the chili. We'll put a full list of all of the ingredients that we use, but basically we've got tinned tomatoes, tomato puree, bit of tomato ketchup, chili powder. We do use a mild chili powder rather than hot chili powder, just so we can then actually control the heat in the chili itself. We've got a bit of onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, cumin, the regular suspects, a bit of, a couple of fresh onions. We've got this smoked, Chipotle Tabasco Sauce. That's going to add a nice depth of smokiness and also heat into the dish. We've got some chicken stock and a bit of sugar as well, and also some dark chocolate that we're going to add in at the end, just to give it that depth of flavour into it. So normally, we're just going to get started straight away. So normally I would say, we just use one onion, but I've only got small ones at home, so we're just going to use two of them. And I just want to finely dice these. So they're going to, so we can then soften them off as the first step in making our chili. Just peel off some of these bits on these outside pieces. Just like that. Just going down there. So now I've got the, I probably don't need to tell you how to slice an onion, but I just want to fine dice, so I'm just going to, slice it down this way. And then I know some people will go like that way, to dice down. I don't bother, because if you actually look at the structure of an onion, I know I look at it too much. I don't actually see that it makes it that much of a difference. So I'm just gonna go straight down here. And that's all I need to do. So I'm just going to get this done on my other couple of bits of onion, and we'll come back and look at that in a minute. So as I said earlier, we're going to be cooking our chili on the Weber kettle today. Basically, to do that, we've got our Dutch oven here. We are using Big K cocoa shell briquettes. I quite like briquettes because they're going to give me a nice consistent burn, consistent heat throughout the duration of the cooking. And to do that, all that we've done, we filled up half a chimney starter full of Big K briquettes. We've lit those, and then we've just made a nice channel down the middle, just to give us a good area for heat. And then I just place my Dutch oven on there. I just want to warm that up a little bit, before I start cooking anything. And I'm just going to add a little splash of vegetable oil in there to begin with. Yeah, I'm not using olive oil because I don't want to, I want to make sure that I don't burn the oil, as it were. So, in case it's running a bit hot, I don't want to burn that olive oil. So, using vegetable oil, you could use peanut oil or whatever. Anything that doesn't give a flavour. So now our Dutch oven's kind of up to temperature. I'm just going to put these onions into the Dutch oven. Just like that. And all I'm really wanting to do is just soften these off. I don't want them to really get any colour or anything like that. I just want to, soften them down, take some of that rawness out of the onion. Okay, and just let that fry off for a minute. As we're then letting that fry off, kind of get ready with the next lot of ingredients we're going to add in. So the next thing that we're going to add into this is going to be a bit of tomato puree. So we're just going to add probably about a couple of tablespoons of tomato puree into this. We're making quite a big chili. We've got a bit of leftover brisket that we've had in the freezer that we're going to cook up today. So once I've put the tomato puree in, obviously I want to cook this out a bit. Yeah, just try and get it all mixed in with the onion, and it can just sort of fry off a bit together. Yeah, and the tomato puree, again, it's just about adding that richness, that depth of flavour into what we're cooking today, so it's going to really help with that. And once the tomato puree is fried off for a little bit, we're just going to add 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. And I'm just going to stir that together just to get it all mixed up. So now that we've got our tomatoes into the Dutch oven and it's cooking, it's bubbling away over the fire, this is probably one of the most important parts, I think, when you're making a chili, in getting a good consistency, a good texture and richness to the sauce. So, I mean, I'm not a chili champion myself, but I know people that are. And this was taught to me by a friend of ours who basically said, because sometimes you can make a chili at home, and when you get it towards the end, it ends up being very watery, and then people start adding like loads of flour or cornmeal or something like that in there to try and thicken it up and get it to bind. Actually, what we're going to do here is we're going to, in a sense, try to burn the tomato. You won't burn it, or I haven't yet, but we really want to cook this down. So this is probably going to take about 20 minutes to get it to reduce down to the level we want. So we want to get a lot of that liquid out. And once you get the tomato broken down, the fibres within the tomatoes broken down, it means that they will then just create a much better sauce, and at the end, everything will be combined together, rather than you being left with a very runny and thin sauce at the end of it. So we're just going to keep on cooking this down, keeping an eye on it, giving it a stir, making sure that we're not burning it, but just sort of cooking it down, making it richer. And then once it's ready, we can then look at how, adding some of our spices into it. As we're waiting for our tomato sauce to reduce down, I may as well go ahead and prep the meat side of it. So we're using the leftover brisket that we cooked in a different video. We're just going to, we've basically vacuum sealed it, frozen it. You know, it's probably been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. It's all fine. I'm just gonna get this out of the backpack bag. I'm just going to put it on my chopping board, and basically I just want to chop this down into smaller pieces. I mean, it's all going to break down anyway as we cook out the chili, but you know, I just want to give it a bit of a head start in doing that. So you know, rather than me layering these large pieces down. So it's also quite nice. I've got some burnt ends that are going to go in here as well, which they're going to add an extra bit of richness into the mix. So yeah, I'm just cubing up these bits of brisket, just like that. Just going to pick out the bits of brisket point, you know, the burnt ends that I've got left over there as well. I know a lot of you will be thinking, who has leftover burnt ends, but you know, it does go really nice in the chili. So yeah, and at least with this cooked brisket as well, so this is going to add some smokiness into it, because obviously the brisket itself has been smoked. We've got, yeah, so we've got these bits here. You know, it's also got some spice rub and seasoning and everything else that we did to that brisket. So yeah, it's just going to again add those extra flavour notes into it as we go, you know, as we cook it out. So these bits here. And then I've got this end piece that I didn't cut up properly when I finished up the last one, so I'll just slice this off now. Right, just going through this. I'm also just having a quick look at the slices here, and it's quite nice. I can still see a bit of the marbling that was left over, you know, that's where it's rehardened, so you can see those little bits of fat that's still in there. Yeah, that's all going to add to the flavour. You know, it's going to give me some juices that it's all going to bind together with. So just chopping it up like this, and that's it. That's basically the meat part of our chili sorted out. You know, I mean, yeah, that's all going to be good. So I can just leave that there for a few minutes. We'll just keep on stirring this, stirring the tomato, and make sure we get it all reduced nicely. So you can see now how the tomato is starting to break down. Yeah, we've got the liquids coming out of it, the tomato's breaking down. You know, this is getting close to where we want it to be. You know, even leaving it there burning away over the fire for ages, it hasn't caught or burnt on the bottom of the Dutch oven. So that's good. We're just gonna keep on cooking. So you can see now that our tomato's broken down a lot. You know, we've managed to get a lot of that water out of it. I mean, again, I'm still going to keep on cooking this, just reducing it down. Just stirring it occasionally, making sure that it's not going to burn. So there we go. You can see here it's all started to break down nicely. A lot of the water has gone out of it, so it's just reducing nicely. I'm gonna add the first lot of seasoning into this now to start off with. So yeah, straight away we're just going to hit it with 4 tablespoons of mild chili powder. And then I'm going to go 1 tablespoon of cumin. I'm going to go 1 tablespoon of onion granules, and then 1 tablespoon of garlic granules. Now we've got all of that in there, I'm just gonna stir that up. Okay, and cook the spice out a bit. There you go. You can see, you know, we kind of already got it looking like chili. You know, it's got a, yeah, this is what I mean about making that sauce first of all, as you do this. So, put all of that in there. And then I'm going to add half a tablespoon, a little bit more of oregano into it. And I'm just going to get that stir into it as well. And then I'm going to add basically half a bottle or the rest of this bottle of the Tabasco sauce into it. Okay. So yeah, this Chipotle Tabasco sauce is basically going to add, you know, nice smokiness into it. It's also going to add some heat, a bit of spice into the chili. So, all of that into it. Again, just stir that all around. And now that I've got all my spices incorporated, now I'm going to go ahead and actually add the brisket into this as well. A bit heavier than I was expecting. You know, just trying to make sure I don't. Obviously, I've got quite a lot on this board. I don't want to drop it into the kettle. I want to make sure I get it all into the Dutch oven. Yeah, and now I've got my brisket in there. I'm just going to stir it up, mix it all in with the paste that's in there. And I'm warming it through the brisket. Just like that. Yeah, so that's got it all nicely mixed together. You want this to cook out a bit, you know, and reduce over time. I nearly forgot one key ingredient into my chili as well is a bit of tomato ketchup. Again, so here we're adding around about a cup worth of ketchup into it. I mean, ketchup's already got a lot of things like, you know, added vinegar, added sugar, you know, things like that are going to help my, you know, add extra flavour into the chili. You know, everybody loves ketchup. So, put that all in there, try and get that to cook out a little. Yeah, just like that. And now, you know, we've got all of our spices into it. The only thing I haven't put in yet, I haven't put any salt and pepper into the chili yet. I'm probably going to wait. I normally try and season that towards the end, just so I can see what it tastes like. But before I add some water into this, I just want to add a couple of stock cubes or stock pots, chicken stock in particular. Just again, it's just all about adding more flavour throughout the cook of this. Like that. Break that down over the heat. Stir that in. There we go. And now that we've got it like that. So, I mean, that's looking exactly how I would expect it to. It looks pretty good. I'm now just going to basically level it off with some water. Okay, just plain water. Okay, and that's it. I mean, that's going to give me enough liquid in there now, so I can, basically cook out the chili. I can get it to reduce and sort of, all the flavours combined together in it, and get the brisket really tender and kind of flaking apart into this as well. So, there's no, we're not using any ground beef or anything like that. It's all, real bits of meat going into this. So there we go. Only thing left to do now is we're just going to put the lid on the Dutch oven, okay, and we're going to let that cook away now. That's going to simmer away probably for like another, I don't know, couple of hours. So our chili's been cooking now for about maybe 2 hours now. Everything's breaking down nicely. It's looking really good. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to look at actually finishing it off. So now that we've got all the meat cooked through and sort of nice and tender, the sauce is all amalgamated together. I just want to actually just get the sauce to the right consistency. So to do that, I'm just going to take the lid off of the Dutch oven, so I can let the steam come out of it and basically reduce this sauce a bit more. Okay, just give that a quick stir up like that. So you can see that we've already got quite a nice thick sauce in here. What I want to do now is I just want to actually taste the chili to see how it is. Do I need to make any tweaks or adjustments? I'm guessing where I've been cooking it for a couple of hours, some of the potency of the spices will have come out of it. So, I just need to just check this quickly. Try not to burn my mouth off with it. Okay, so that's tasting pretty good. What I want to do is a little savoury. I like a bit of sweetness in my chili, so I'm just going to add probably about a tablespoon of sugar into it. Just a plain regular white sugar, and stir this into it. So now we've got a bit of sweetness in it. I just want to add a bit of seasoning to it at the end, just to pick this up. So, a bit of salt in there, just a bit of fresh black pepper as well. Just like that, and then just stir it around. And as we're doing this, I'm going to be tasting it, so I can just make sure that, it is exactly how I want it to be. But you can see I've got this nice texture to it. It's not, I haven't got any pools of water or, thin juice. So this is looking really good. Just going to taste this again. That's great. So the only thing left to do, so now I'm going to take this off of the heat. As I take it off the heat, I'm just going to melt in basically about 4 squares of this 70% dark chocolate. This is going to again make it a bit richer and really help build that flavour even more. So I'm just going to get this chocolate out, make sure I haven't got any tin foil in it. Just like that. I've only got 3 squares. There we go. So I'm just going to take this chocolate, I'll throw it into the chili, stir it up. Okay, and that's basically, I'm just going to take this off the heat now. The residual heat will basically melt that chocolate into the chili, and then we've got a great sauce here. So, yeah, that's looking great. So, So that's our chili off now. So we're pretty much done with the cooking of it. Just going to leave that to sit there now for about half an hour. We're going to look at, we're now going to sort out some sides to serve with it. So I'm just going to do some nachos today. I'm just going to basically pour them into a bowl, put some cheese on them, put them onto the grill, so we can get that cheese melted. And then we'll sort of load on our chili and everything else, and we're going to have a good lunch today. So that was our barbecue chili. I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, if you do give it a try, let us know how you get on with it in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you like our videos and our channel and everything else, please give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps us growing this more. And we'll see you again on another video.